All right, let's see. Got sound at least. Yes, let me disable the chat on YouTube. Oh. So why did my pop-out spawn full screen? Okay. I am jumping straight in with HTTP requests tonight. DJ Devin's pull request for adding API examples to the request library. There are some for Discord, GitHub, Twitter, YouTube. So we will test some of these. Truth be told, I'm somewhat less interested or inclined in participating in Twitter these days, so maybe we will not necessarily test that one beyond looking over the code, but Discord, GitHub, and YouTube, we can try those out. And there's actually two different Discord ones that I think take different approaches. One of them is using the API, and one of them is using a third-party service, I think. URL in this one. Get a source. Where'd that come from? All right, well, we'll get this local and we can clone it. Or, I mean, once we clone it, we'll have it local. I can control click and like, oh, okay, it's right there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that didn't come up on the... Oh, it does. Maybe I hadn't loaded or something up there. Sure. Yeah, this one is hitting the Discord API directly though, whereas the other one is using the badge system. Its name I forget. Image shields. They generate, it turns out, JSON, but SVG was what was in use in the past. This is a third-party service not related to Discord, but they generate Discord badges, probably using the Discord API, and they publish the badges. And because SVG is text, you can use regex to extract data from the SVG, in particular to extract the number of users online. But that is actually not necessary because it turns out, as DJ Devin found, there is JSON endpoint for this that will just give you JSON, which is much easier because you don't have to use regex to parse it. We already have JSON support in CircuitPython really easily, so that's like much easier than doing the SVG and the regex route. Oops. Those are what we will look at, and we'll also finish setting up anything that I run across that I'm missing. Like, it occurs to me, I don't think I got TO. No, I don't think that's true. It's desperate to find a way to use around the SVG because I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, it's the way it's implemented in the one example that exists is kind of buried in the devil the devil's in the details, and the details are in the PyPortal / portal-base class because it has a regex processing configuration. You kind of like preload the regex you want into it, and then it will process it and set a variable with the results for you. But like all of that stuff happens internally, and which is nice if you're writing like something that makes use of it in the way that it exposes it. Then like you can make the app without actually necessarily knowing it. Although the regex like is kind of tough. Somebody's going to need to write that. But you could copy it out of the Learn Guide, for instance. To use it outside of the PyPortal app, you'd have to do all the regex stuff yourself. But truthfully, this is way better anyway. Well, I didn't create the original one of these, but if I was working on anything with Discord and I had known this existed, I would 100% use this every time, 10 out of 10 times instead of the SVG. Just because we already have a JSON parser, whereas SVG we don't. I don't think there's definitely not a published like Adafruit XML parser. I want to say maybe there's a third-party one somewhere, but I have no idea the state of it. But XML is tricky because, I mean, I suppose JSON presents a similar problem. You kind of have to load a lot of it. You kind of have to load all of it at once with XML. In a lot of ways that it gets parsed, which we don't have enough RAM for sometimes, depending on how big the XML is. But anyway, that's what we're looking at. I need to clone this. I don't think so. So one of the things that came to mind was, you know what I need to do actually is like, what's this? Oh, okay, it's here. Oh, okay, this is where I had launched Android Studio earlier. That's fine. We could close that. Given the JSON. We can take a look into it. It shouldn't need that, although I will say also I haven't looked at the data, but we will see as we get there. One thing is, I don't know, did I install TIO the other day? I uninstalled TIO the other day. I don't remember how I installed that originally. Did I get that from apt or? 8 days ago. Mute. It's just source. I don't necessarily want to build it from source. I guess I would if I had to. Install. Sure. Snap. We could use Snap. Is it on this thing? No. Either try Snap or apt, I think, are pretty much the answers. I suspect we need sudo. I guess it's going to ask for elevation anyway. Version of Snap TIO is published using classic confinement and thus may perform arbitrary system changes outside of the security sandbox that snaps are usually constrained. Understand, then you want to repeat the command including classic. Classic confinement. I mean, it does need access to the serial port. I need to figure out how to do exact match. My goodness. Seriously, this is so many things. I think you have to use... Ironically, I think you have to use regex for this actually too. Caret $. Why wouldn't that be the TIO? Gonna need that because we're gonna need to look at the output from our device. That's good. I probably need to clone requests, I think. I have this yet because I'm on the new computer, so I don't have pretty much anything yet. Why is there a CircuitPython here? Here, do the repo. I think that's meant to be there. It should be inside repos. Yeah, don't have it cloned yet. Could move the bar Discord to the left. I can't make it any smaller. Oh, messed it up. Oh, still messed it up. One thing I don't like is I favorited PyCharm, but PyCharm has got this broken thing going on where it gets its own instance even though it's a favorite, but the other favorites don't. They like use their favorite icon as their instance once you open them. I don't know what's not up with PyCharm, but it doesn't do that for some reason. Let's take it out of there. I don't know, we'll have to see. I think that might be what I ended up doing on my old computer is I just got rid of it as a favorite and launched it with the Windows key or whatever. And open requests. Oh, shoot, I should not have let it do that. I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I don't really want it to create a virtual environment inside of every repo. I don't need that many copies of Python computer, honestly. Pay attention closer. Oh well. Figure out if I can change the default for. How's it going, Keith? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Same to you as well. And I am. I'm doing pretty good. I have got a couple of days off. My birthday is tomorrow, and I got a couple of days, rest of the days off this week to hang out and have some fun. I think we have this already, right? Is there? There's already a new one though, even though we just installed this like 3 days ago. They have fun celebrating however you want. Yeah, thank you. Did that. Got a couple of fun stuff and lots of yummy food lined up. That's the plan. Examples. Do this one first because it's the JSON one. We can see if it does use X. We don't need this. It's just like logging test from back. View open. Ooh, shell, why are we in shell? Oh yeah, I was working on making desktop things. Started talking about that, thinking about it, and we made some of them manually on stream the other day. But I wanted a better way to make them, and I was working on a better way to make them. And I have now a shell script that makes desktop entries and puts them in the right place. What I need to do is try to hook it up so that I can, like, find a shell script of something I want to launch. Like, this is an IDE, and let's say I wanted to launch this, or more specifically, let's say I wanted to add a shortcut to it to here, if it wasn't here already. I want to add an item in this menu that will call this shell script. And once I get that part of it hooked up, I think I'll have a way to just like right click and add icons. Now they don't refresh, I don't think, until I restart. Kind of, it depends. I found a command that made a few of them refresh, but it wasn't very consistent. I don't know the actual way to make them refresh, but food's a great way to celebrate anything. Yeah. If I recall correctly, my mind has been, let's see, my mind has been soup, so I could have been wrong. Did you go to the farmer's market? We did, yep. We went to the farmer's market on Saturday. Didn't pick up anything from the farmer's market. We got some coffee that morning, but we did not end up getting anything actually at the farmer's market. It was like a lot of non-food, I guess, not which makes sense because it's getting colder around here. So like anybody who grows outside can't really be bringing crops this time of year. But it was like a lot more like finished products rather than just produce and stuff like that. I was hoping to find a mango, which is not in season at all, but there's this booth that shows up sometimes, I guess probably in the summer or the spring, and they have mangoes with like different, there's a couple of different kinds. There's like a spicy one or a sweet one. You get, I think, a plain one or salty one or something. It's like a mango on a stick. They cut it all up into little chunks that are easy to bite off. Really yummy. But alas, too cold for that, I think. They were not around. But it was nice to get out there, walk around for a bit, and see the stuff that was there. It's a great way to celebrate, yeah. Yeah, it is. It was pretty nice that morning. It was definitely nice to just get out and be walking around and stuff, hang out with my wife and get out and about. Nice. The spicy one. Yeah. Yeah, I had never heard of that before I saw it there, and I had one. I was like, this is pretty yummy. Gotta remember this and come back. Hopefully we're on that, right? Should be that, shouldn't it? Oh, nope. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, let's go Control TQ. There it is. ls dev. What do we have here? That is the one place where TO is a bit tricky. Is it will happily open a connection to a non-existent thing and just wait for it to connect, which is blessing and a curse. Like if your thing disconnected, that's real nice because it's going to connect again. You're unsure whether your thing is there or not. It's kind of a curse because it will just like sit and wait. What's weird is it seems like it is there. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay, spelled it wrong. I say what's weird is it seems like, see, that's the thing, is like this one doesn't exist because this is an H and this is a Y, which is what it's actually looking for, but it will just happily open this and not be like, hey, you asked to open a thing that doesn't make any sense. But I get it, because that's like, it has to do that if it wants to do the disconnecting. Although here now we're connected and I still don't have anything. We'll see. Is that not the CircuitPython device? Okay, I'm going to unplug the CircuitPython device, which I'm actually just going to use the button here. Oh, I'm going to unplug this. These things mess them up sometimes, actually. Yeah, this is an Android device that I use for work. It does very weird things with its USB, I think, and sometimes it causes trouble on my hub. What do we have now? Do we have... We could narrow this down a bit, maybe. Or not. Can't access. Okay. I unplugged both. Plug back in the CircuitPython. And wait long enough, probably. Ding-a-ling. There we go, okay. Copy that. Wow. Huh. I don't know, I get to hear and then Control C is not doing anything. Oh, now it's back to green. Hopefully we'll come back. So we do still have the dropping every now and then thing. Wow, it's really bright when I have the white screen up, huh? Show modified. Oops. Show modified. Mark modified. Really mark unmodified. No, it's not. It's mark modified. That's right. Watch this. Ah, yes. There we go. I save this, and I don't know. We're not really connected to it. Right? Something's going on because we're not getting anything printed. And I can't send anything back. Like, my Control C's aren't doing anything. Looking at the actual screen, because this happens to be a Feather TFT. Looking at the actual screen, I see it did print out fine. We don't get it in a TO. Back on Twitch and YouTube. Yep, thank you. Yep, got the network. Lost connection a second. I was thinking maybe you mistaken disconnected. Nope. Yeah, I think the internet kind of like hiccuped for a couple of seconds there, which it still does. I think honestly the whole network does it. I don't know how to begin trying to troubleshoot that. It doesn't happen often enough to like be able to test and try to change and see if something fixed it. Also, it's Google Fiber Box, which is sort of black boxy as far as network switches go. You kind of have to control it through their page, and so it's not like there's not an abundance of different configurations. Maybe I should try a subnet off of that, see if it does anything. I don't know. It's tough. I should try to get them to troubleshoot it, but again, it's so rare though. It's like maybe once a day, if that. Sometimes even like less than that. Over here, wasn't 100% sure. I think it's stable enough not to worry about every now and then. Yeah. I got both. I got Twitch and Discord chats open. Get your network connection. Yep. Start sounding robotic right before it happens, which is like, yeah, it's sending the last bit of sound data that it had, but getting messed up. So I don't know. So I'm gonna turn this back off, I guess, which is gonna disconnect it. Is this gonna show disconnected? Doesn't look like it. Am I not? Am I not? Am I not in the dial out group? This is a thing from Linux that I remember from using Serial and 3D printers. Maybe I'm not in the dial out group. Does that still exist these days? Oh, did I have to do that on my last computer? I don't remember. Yeah, see, it disappeared. So it's gone. But, like, this TO instance doesn't notice. It's like, this is not actually talking to this file correctly. See if there was anything more on the install page. I didn't really read the instructions about installing. Maybe that was like also do this to fix it. Nope. It's got to be maybe dial out group, right? So, okay, one thing we could try to do to check. See if mu works. I don't have mu on here yet. Ooh. Loading, loading. App image? I think I can launch that. I don't know, I don't think I can just run it that way, but I think with the terminal. Right. That's probably not good. Or dumped. Segmentation fault. I've segmented to a fault. Well. Settings file found. Oh, that one doesn't have an app image. Anything mentioned like that's promising. Is there like download from the website? Well, but that's okay. Inspire. Okay, yep, this has got to be it, right? Really, what I was trying, like, we're several layers deep into this rabbit hole. Really, what I was trying to do though was run mu and see if it could talk to the device or not, and then try to look into dial out group and see if this was the reason why not. And I think the fact that this is here tells me this has got to be the reason, I think. So we go. These have the wrong stuff in them sometimes. I probably have to restart these. It's currently not connected. Well, it's currently powered off, I mean, so I'll turn it on. I don't have any connection. Well, Control C, I should say, still doesn't work at least. Turn it back off and it still doesn't connect or disconnect. I wonder if I need to like restart or something. Yeah. That's a bummer. If I reboot, that's definitely going to interrupt the stream. But I pretty much need Serial, I think. Pretty much need Serial. Can develop without Serial. Can't develop? People will just refresh the stream, no worries. Okay. Inside a shell, you can use the following command. Huh. What does that do? Must have been like your username at the time. Jeez. Looks similar. I would assume this is probably doing the same thing as this. I don't know though. And has more upvotes. SU dash. So SU is change user, and then that's choosing the user we're changing to. What does the dash do? It's the only part of that command I don't actually get. Dash. Mirror dash implies dash L, which is what the one down below said. Make the shell a login shell. Okay, well that seems simple enough, I guess. Let's try it. Okay. Oh, interesting. It doesn't, the history is gone. I guess that's probably a good sign. Ah, upvotes. Oh. What? Oh, I already upvoted this? Did it count my upvote from just now, or did I actually already up? No, because it was on 555. It counted it. Okay, it counted it for me just now. Yeah, it must have, because it was on 555. Okay. Sweet. So thank you to you as well. Now we should actually be business here. We can run this, we see our output, so let's go back to our real code. Yeah. It's always worth a check. Linux is like that. There's always some way to do it. Rebooting is probably the easiest, but one of these days, I guess, eventually I could run the stream from a separate computer, feed it in through like an HDMI capture. duplicator or something. That's getting awfully fancy though. I don't know. That sounds like a lot of stuff that could go wrong and make it have black on my stream, which doesn't sound fun to troubleshoot. Okay, so we got our data. JSON dump is this. Gives you back the color, the label, the message, which includes the number, the name, value, which is just a copy of the message. Why there's two of those. The link, which is an empty list. SVG value. Regex. Oh, I see. You used regex maybe to cut the number out. Yeah. G users. Regex. Yeah, I mean you could definitely do it without regex, because you could do I mean, there's a couple of ways you could do it. Like, I would be inclined, I don't know if it's a good instinct or not, but my instinct when I run across a problem like this starts with split on the space and then take the 0th item. So you could go, I'll just keep the name regex users, even though I'm about to change it to not use regex, just so I don't have to change more code. But as an example, you go regex users equals eta svg users dot split on empty space, and then take the 0th index from the split. Split will make an array, and then we can grab the 0th index from that array. Now, if they like put a space up here or something, or if this changed drastically, then that could throw it off. But I think we probably have that no matter what we do. We probably have it where if they change this format too much, we'd have to change our code. The other thing that you can do also beyond split, you don't need regex in order to do replaces. You can just string replace. So eta svg users dot replace, and then the string that you want to replace, which you have set up here as this one, and then the string that you want to substitute in, which is this one. And so this way it works basically the same. You choose the string you want to change and then the string you want to change it to, but you don't have to actually import re or do any regex stuff. Just I think this is a function of string. I would assume that's how that works. Better way to do it, in case the thing after the space changes. Yeah, if they ever did, yeah, or if it's at offline for any reason, I can't think of why it would with the count, right? That wouldn't make sense to say how many are offline, but if they did change it at all, then that could. But the space would buy you a little bit of leeway as long as they don't like add a space at the beginning, then that would work. Split's usually my first instinct, but I'm not going to say that I've never been burned by it. Like, I have been burned by it occasionally. It's been occasionally a little bit too generic, and then like a couple other things change and my code goes crazy. But like I said, that'll be any which way. But I think either of those is fine. Replace or split. Which appends are possible when it comes to experience. Yeah, that's totally just like a playing around with it type thing. For sure. I will say the IDE helps with some of that because it will start to show up, but even that's like, it's kind of a long list to look through. Actually, I guess it's not actually, well, it doesn't know it's a string in this case, I think. Does it? Yeah. I think it doesn't know it's a string actually right now. Not sure why. Oh, because it doesn't know what value came from this, I guess, right? Yeah, that's why it doesn't know it's a string. Yeah, this comes from dynamic data, so it has no way of knowing its type. The IDE, that is, doesn't know its type. When it executes, it knows that it's a string, but the IDE here and now doesn't know what it will be. Like regex, for instance. So this one it will know as a string. And so you can find here, occasionally I'll just mindlessly scroll through this and like something will stick out, and then a few months later, for whatever reason, I'll be looking into something, I'll be like, hey, I think that one thing I saw that one day, the exact thing I need right now. Okay, let's try the token ones. And I gotta get a token, and I gotta try not to leak a token, so still using mu, so don't get any suggestions. I gotcha. Yeah. Hopefully one of these days we'll have that built into mu. I think probably it should not be to the extreme that PyCharm is. PyCharm could be overwhelming if you're not like, you don't have a lot of the context and knowledge already. Then it's just too much stuff that it's trying to put in front of you. But once you kind of understand the bigger picture a fair amount, PyCharm puts a lot of things within arm's reach. Is kind of the way I think about it. Makes a lot of things that would be like search online for in the Python docs or something that you could find in here instead. Let's get, I'll go Discord next, and I'll have to get a token for that. We can try it without the token too though, right? We should see it fail or something. Nice. Key error. Seems reasonable to me. Discord authorization, so we're gonna try not to leak myself here. Come over here and make sure that we're actually not showing this one anymore. I'm gonna unhighlight this because we don't need so much blue. Okay. It's Discord authorization, and I don't actually have the token. The next thing I need to do is token. Which this page describes how to do, I think, right? I looked through this before, and this page described it. I think this describes probably not what Discord would tell you to do. So they're basically just finding your token inside a web session of Discord. And we don't need this part because we already have the ID. This would work, but I think technically if you're going to make API requests, the correct way is probably to go through the API, go through like the developer, should be like a developer setup page. I can't get too deep into it because I don't want to leak anything, but let's see, maybe dev.discord. It's discord.com, I don't know. Okay, let's try Discord developers API token. Okay. I feel like we're getting close to a docs page where it's just going to put my token on the page, so I'm going to move this over here. And as long as it doesn't actually put my token on the page, then I'll move it back, but you have to register a developer application, I guess, which is the perhaps the rub on this. Did I ever do this at one point? I feel like I have lots of these services I signed up for API keys and played around with. I don't know about Discord specifically. Let's see if this works. Oh, this is the wrong. I wonder if that link would work actually. Probably not. Nice if it would. Try that next time. And Check your phone. It did make an API token. I made an application which then allowed me to get an API token that's associated with that application. An application ID, and I have a public key. I have a client ID, and I have a client secret. But how do I, which one of those things is authorization? That client secret? Access key. Accidentally hidden chats here. Let's see. Yes, it's not the correct way, but you need to be server admin to have a really useful OAuth. I don't have that for the Adafruit server. I don't know that it's necessarily up to me. Like, I don't really, it doesn't bother me that much. I think it's not like, again, it's kind of like, would Discord tell you this is the right way to do it? I don't think so, but I'm not Discord and therefore not inclined to care that much. But I do think we'd probably want to get more opinions than just mine. It's weird that they don't. It's weird that there is a token that you use from the front end, which is this is basically just having you get your token from the front end, right? Like you go to discord.com in your browser, you click open Discord, it launches the Discord app, right? Like right here in your browser, now you can chat and do all your stuff. This browser is logged in. I already logged into mine. It has a token stored essentially in the cookies or somewhere that it's passing back and forth. Yeah, well, not in the cookies, I guess, but in the request header. It's odd that this exists and that you use it with the front end, but that the developer portal doesn't give you access to the same thing. Authorization code grant is what much developers will recognize as standard auth 2, retrieving access code and exchanging it with the user's token. This, I think, is talking about using it for login. Yeah, that's the thing, is if they are going to have it work that way for the front end, they may as well just, in my mind, they may as well just make a page that gives you that token and you can use it in that manner. Like, it's already limited to what you can do with it, right? Like, if you send a request to Discord to tell them to, like, ban somebody and you're not a moderator, it's already going to enforce it for you. So, like, oh, please don't tell me that this is like, please don't tell me that these are mine. This better not be mine. Can't be mine. It says a fake website in it. Client ID, client secret. Let me make sure those don't match. I see that. Okay. No, those are fake. Well, I don't know if they're fake. Hopefully they're fake. They're not mine, either way, which is the part I care about most. Okay. I mean, the other thing is, like, I do think it's unreasonable for our example to, like, get somebody to do the whole setup and application OAuth to everything, so I wonder how third parties do it, like the Image Shield app. Because it doesn't, like, Image Shields presumably doesn't just have admin on Adafruit server either, but somehow their server is hitting, I assume is hitting the Discord API and getting the count for our server and really for every server. Oh, this is like just the same thing. Wow. Maybe this is just the way. Hmm. So yeah, bots you need permission on the server. I looked into the bots as well to try to make my screen overlay work before I started just using the front end. Yeah, this seems to just be the way, the only way, because all these pages are the same thing. I think these are even different screenshots too, honestly. I don't think these are all just like copy pasted either. These have all been slightly different browsers and stuff. Weird. Okay. Whoa. 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 I don't even know how they did this. I didn't even think this had style, I guess? There's style in the console? Is that real? How does that happen? 2016. Facebook did it. Huh. Font size when you pass in console.log. That's just like style. That's like straight CSS. Oh, there you go. Where you know. You can pass style to your console log. No. Hey, 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 stop. Just let go. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stop playing over once I get to the past the giant text here. So I don't know which is it in. Now I have too many windows. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, that's nice of them, I guess, to put lots of warnings in there. I suppose they didn't just like do that out of the kindness of their heart, though, right? Like people were abusing that, and they decided to do that because of it. I suppose would be the unfortunate part. Oh my goodness. This page made so many requests when I refreshed it. Okay, those were doing what? Those were like searching for API. They do that? Search. Record. No, re-record. It's already recording. Filter? Yeah. Is API v9? Does that matter? Request headers, authorization. Copy all of that. Let's copy the entire thing. Now let's find this one. Put this in here. Save this and close this. This back. Close this. V9 or V10 are current. V8 and below are deprecated. Doesn't change until the browser requests a new one. No idea how. Maybe log in, log out. Oh, the authorization. Yeah, probably log. Yeah, probably log out will. I mean, hopefully, right? Like, ideally, log out would invalidate that token, and that token would never be would like once you log out, that token's no longer good and would never be good again. And then when you log in again, it'll give you a new one. Fingers crossed that that's how that works. Otherwise, that's not good. Discord Adafruit channel. I did not put in there. Okay. Go back over here. It might be worth moving that one out of secrets. I don't know that it's like doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but it's not necessarily a secret value. It's just a publicly known ID that points to the channel. And if you take it outside of secrets, then they only need to add the one thing. So I don't think it's like slightly easier one way, but I don't think it truly matters in the grand scheme of things. We should be good now, though, right? Yep, there we go. Okay. It returns time to you. Look at that. Okay. Nice. Okay. Good so far. part of developing where I was putting a bunch of stuff in secrets. Ended up taking half of it out, yeah. Let's go GitHub and YouTube. I'm gonna look over the Twitter one, but I am not interested in using Twitter right now. Definitely Twitter's some problems. It needs to figure itself out before I'm interested in taking part in their platform too much. Unfortunate, because I think Twitter can be a useful thing. I'll look over the code though, see if there's anything I can spot that makes sense for not specific to the API. GitHub, I should have a token, but where would I find it? Oh, let's see. We're gonna do some more stuff on this side. Okay. Oh. That's the thing that happened. What sucks about that too, I think it doesn't. That was silly. Should no, not to open that without just opening it and moving the window on a blank one. What? Tokens, where are my tokens? What are we doing here? You know what sucks a lot for this? I don't think it shows you the tokens, and so if I don't know what that one happened to be titled, I don't really have a great option for invalidating that one without invalidating all of them. Hopefully that's not the case, right? You've lost or forgotten this token, you can regenerate it. But I can't see it, so I can't find which one is the one. That's fitting, kind of. I guess regenerate it. Make a note of the name this time in case that happens again. And validate the rest of them, because that's pretty much all I can do. Honestly, I should probably delete a bunch of these. Maybe I'll put these on 30 days, and then like, I'm not like writing them down as I go. Okay, we'll see what fails though. I'll regenerate them all, I'll put them on 30 days. I'll see what in my life fails, if anything, to authenticate. As stuff fails to authenticate, I will move it into the one new token and I'll start getting rid of these old ones. The fact that they don't show you the token again sounds good in theory, but really what I end up doing is creating a ton of tokens, not deleting the old ones, which is not ideal, right? I grant that that's not ideal, but that's kind of what happens due to not being able to look back and see them again. It's like, if I didn't write it down, then I just have to make a new one. I think I'd almost prefer that they let you see them again as long as you authenticate and stuff, right? Like, okay. Those are all invalidated. These tokens, yeah. I need to do that. But I do not yet. But I should. I have one on my phone, but like tokens are not good for that because I don't want to type it in, like read it off of my phone and type it into the computer. I should get a password manager on the computer though, so that I can have stuff that's like copy paste for the like token. Now where were we? Put up our secrets. When it connected, it almost feels like maybe it did it before save the token. It's not have, right? Because it wouldn't have got the username. It must have been after I saved. Had to have been after I saved. There's let's leave that open in case we thing. Okay. I've removed all tokens. All windows with tokens. Yeah, it does. Key error. Missing the token. Right, wrong token too. Key error ID. Got back an error instead of data. Username. Efficient. maybe have it. I'm not positive of my username. My username is kind of complicated because I had a YouTube account before it merged into the Gmail account, and now I have both, but they're linked, like I can trade from one to the other. They're both kind of use the same username at this point, but I'm not sure what the username will be. Or how I would access the other YouTube account that's in there. I'll try what the username for that used to be, I think. Got error page info, but I probably had my stuff not in there yet or something. Still says. Could try just requesting this stuff in the browser. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. Set true to see full response. That's convenient. I'm gonna look at it over here though. I don't know what all full response will include. Sure, it's not. Don't want. I think that these are public keys, not private keys or API tokens, but I'm not 100% positive, so I'm not going to move this back yet. Basically, it's an error. The gist of it is YouTube Data API v3 has not been used in this project before, or it is disabled. Enable it by visiting this URL. It's just a enable. For my free trial, $300 in credit. Data API v3. Okay, try again. Matching results 0. Total results. Results per page. What does it try to find? What is it trying to look up? I think this part's fine to show. Also hid the chats for myself for a minute. Let me see. Careful switching some of the full API debug true that might show the URL. Okay, try to be careful of that. So far I just did the This one. It's the only one I changed. Ah. Okay. Oh, but it's response rather than request. Okay, yeah, I did not change that one, but I do see there where it would print the whole thing. For YouTube, I think I ended up only going with the channel ID, not the username. Can't remember. I think I forgot to take one of those out of secrets as unnecessary too. Never mind, login credentials with comments is the stuff needed. I just forgot to take some stuff out of personal secrets file. Few results of users with that username. So I guess that's not my username. Truthfully, doesn't surprise me that much. Okay, here's what well, I don't, do I want to change it too much? It's over here, that's all right. Let's try this. So this was my YouTube user before. This is the same error I got the first time. Not true this time because I am using the same. That's not configured. What? I don't know. I scrolled up too far, maybe? I don't know. Hold on. Does this have anything that we don't want to show? What is etag? That's probably just like the channel name or something. Okay. I don't see any. I don't see anything that's problematic. I got a response this time. I got one result, matching results 1. I put in the username that the account that I normally stream on, the account that I'm streaming under right now, in fact, on YouTube, that is. So if you're watching this on YouTube, technically that is under an account that has a username that is not FoamyGuy. I don't know if the username is actually still displayed anywhere because I changed it to a display name. Like it's all convoluted, like the stuff that has happened in my YouTube accounts. But I put in that one, and this came up here, and I think this is me because I believe the subscribers are right, videos and stuff like that. I could probably find it by the channel ID, I guess, if I looked. At like, I just go to here. Oh, you can actually. If you click my user, you can see the old username kind of, though it's capitalized. How do you find your channel ID? Ah, that would have. Okay. That's definitely me. Okay, sweet. So that one's working. So you could have that show your number of views, your number of subscribers, that kind of stuff, which would be pretty cool. It might be interesting to do a matrix portal one that scrolls your. Well, none of these were Twitch, I guess, but I was thinking if you had a matrix portal, you could scroll your Twitch followers or subscribers as well as your YouTube subscribers, and they could just scroll on the matrix portal. That might be kind of neat. You could throw it in the background of your stream. I think we're good on that YouTube one though. Let me reshuffle my windows back around and get the chats back visible. Might lose power, storm winds picking up. Oh, yikes. Well, I hope, wish you the best of luck on that. Hopefully hopefully that doesn't become a problem for you. You go to YouTube user, it'll show, it'll be whatever your username is after it. Which is something, so I ended up clicking on my, like channel name or whatever, and it took me to a page with the username and the URL. Matrix panel is on my desk, on my next to-do list. Much easier than doing it on the all segments. Yeah. Some parts are easier. I mean, the scrolling is a little bit more complex than anything that's in play here, but it's like still one layer on top of this stuff, kind of. Not too bad. Cool. I'll take a look in the Twitter one. Beyond that, though, I mean, everything is looking good to me. I would say we can change over the one SVG one to say to reference JSON. I think everything else seems good to me. I like the way that you put a bunch of these with booleans so that it's easy to like turn on and off the different parts, especially the parts that are printing like sensitive stuff. And I like that you defaulted them to false, so thank you for that. Okay, so this is like telling it which things you're gonna fetch. Not sure what that would do. I guess this is telling it like a way to modify what it's fetching or something. Tweet fields. So then these are going to be the fields, I guess, that you get on the per tweet basis, which I suppose really is just the pinned one at this point. Unless it also returns to you a list of tweets that are just like the top ones or whatever. Created out, public metrics source, context annotation entities, and then I guess, I don't know, source? What inside one of these would be probably the actual tweet data. Nice. What's our default sleep is 15 minutes. Which I think it printed also, I suppose. Okay. I'll leave it sitting here as well. I'll leave it sitting on my desk and it'll cycle here in, I don't know, another 10, 15, well, not 15, but another 10 minutes or whatever. So we'll see if I'll see if it pops over again, but I think I'm gonna head out for now. Let's see, I have no idea. Oh, let me catch up here. Well, if you're used to working in display IO, it's easier. That's true. That's true. And I would say I've gotten to the point where I feel pretty natural with display IO. I've gotten a lot of a display IO experience for sure. I do tend to underestimate some of the complexities sometimes. There's nothing SVG about that one anymore, just kept the original name and values, yeah. I have no idea what half of those calls do. I found the Twitter examples in their API docs, used it and it worked. That's how it goes. Couldn't tell you how many API experiences I've had that are basically like that. If you're like really familiar with the service, then API docs sometimes will be a little more fruitful in terms of like understanding what's happening, but if you're not super familiar with the service and like all of the different fields that their data objects have and all the different like endpoints, the different actions you can do on their data, like the docs tend to be, I mean, I find them oftentimes just overwhelming and not particularly useful because they're structured in a very like A to Z just giant list of stuff that you can do, and it's like I know there's one thing in here that I'm looking to do, but like I have no idea which part of this haystack that needle is in. I suppose it comes with experience and just like if you know the service, then it's easier. If you spend a bunch of time with Adafruit.io, the Adafruit.io docs are probably easier. If you spend a bunch of time with Twitter, the Twitter docs are probably easier. But I'd say you did good for what it's worth. And I think these are awesome examples for people to be able to build off of. Get granular with it, but it was only going after followers. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. I think this is a great, because I mean, this is like, it's like 80-20 rule or whatever. I forget who coins that term, or maybe it's even more broadly. I'm sure lots of people have come up with that. But I think that's like, that's what a lot of people want to do, right? This is probably one of the most common things. Like, most people who are using CircuitPython don't really care about, let's say, the GitHub API per se, but people using CircuitPython might care how many stars their project got. Or most people using CircuitPython probably don't care too much about the Twitter API generally, but they might find it cool to be able to make a little badge or whatever that shows how many followers they have or whatever, right? Same thing with GitHub or Discord. If they have a Discord server, being able to show the number of people that are on it. I think those are like low-hanging fruits that the people who are likely to be coming from CircuitPython and find this code, I think that's the exact kind of stuff that's like up their alley, rather than like a fully comprehensive, like, here's how you do everything with the API. It's like they're probably looking to do one or two things. The things you did, honestly, are probably the things that they're looking to do as well. So this gets them like the vast majority of the way there, even if they end up needing to tweak it to do slightly different values or whatever. This gets them super far. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, run out of RAM if you're on anything without too much, for sure. Yeah, that's one of the things with web APIs, especially JSON. I mean, JSON data is not super efficient as far as like size goes. It's nice because it's readable, but there's lots of wasted space in like new lines and tabs and curly brackets and things. And some APIs tend to be like, here's 100 results that are 400 lines each worth of data, and it's like, yeah, I don't have enough RAM for all of that. Could I get one result maybe? Start there. I will say the Twitter one, it looked like that's what this bit here, they're actually nice about it. They allow you to choose what fields you want, which is pretty nice. The APIs that are the best are ones that let you specify, like, I want to get this data and I only care about these fields. Don't bother wasting bandwidth or storage or anything. Don't bother wasting anything by sending me stuff I'm not interested in. So these kinds of things are always nice to see on APIs as well, where you get to specify. I'll give them that. Discord result had it limited to like 1 to 5. Yeah, if you search too much, you can see that for sure. All right, I will leave a review. Probably it's going to be later on tonight or tomorrow that I'll leave a review, but you change over the JSON when you have a chance. After that, we'll see if anybody else, I don't think anybody else has reviewed it yet, so if anybody else does, we can take a look at what they say. Otherwise, I'll approve after, and then we can get it merged in. Thank you for working on that stuff. That's awesome. I am going to head out for now. Try to find something for dinner. Yeah. So thank you for watching along. Thank you, DJ Devin, for producing these examples. It's always great to see people creating new examples. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Keith, thanks for hanging out for a bit. Fingers crossed. I hope the storm is not too bad for you, DJ Devin, down there. Hopefully it's going to pass without too much. But have a good night, everybody, and I will see you next time. Probably Friday would be my guess as to the next time I'm streaming, although I don't know for sure. Maybe on Thursday. We'll see. I don't know. You can follow me on Twitch if you want the old notification. That's how that goes. So definitely Friday for deep dive, though. I'll be back at then no matter what. So we will see you next time, whenever it may be. Have a good night, everybody.